Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great, wonderful morning. You're all welcome to this broadcast. We're going to show part two of yesterday's video, and we'll see how it goes.
You back. Fuck that job. You can get another one. I don't care what it ever it is. If it didn't take your life, if you got another day of breath, you got another opportunity. I don't care what happens. I'd have been homeless before. You can lose it. I done lost everything probably about 2 or 3 times. I done lost everything I own. And every time I lose it, I don't even be giving a fuck. Well, I'll get it back. I'll be like, it kind of make me mad a little bit. But I'm like, shit, forget it. Let me just start. What I'm gonna do next? Sit back somewhere, meditate, think about what my next move gonna be. I sit and muddle around, and then what happens is this: then God speaks to you, like He spoke to me about high frequency radio. I was gonna name high frequency radio the vibratory. That's what because I was wanted to do something with vibrations. So I was just sitting in my nephew's room and I was on this radio show, and then after this radio show, every day I woke up and said, "Man, you need to do your own radio show." And I was like, "Man, I don't know. I ain't no radio host. Not a radio host. I ain't never did radio before in my life. I ain't know nothing about radio, anything like that." And but that it just every day I woke up, it was bothering me so fucking bad. I had never had anything just on my mind like that. I wake up here, I wake up out of bed, do your radio show. I mean, leave me alone. Do your radio show. Walmart, do your radio show. We leave do your radio show. There's something just bugging me. Do your radio show. Do your radio show. Do your radio show. Do your radio show. I'm like, fuck. So then Paul David Savage L, who, if you listen to some of the radio programs that I'm posting now, my beloved brother, I hope you're out there doing well. I miss you, and thank you. I still have that that book you gave me, that William Blackstone. He gave me a William Blackstone a book, so it's an old book. Very nice gift that he gave me. I appreciate that. I still have it. And he called me just out of the blue. We had worked together in Atlanta, and we used to have like conversations about. He was in the nationality real heavy. I was in the commerce. We used to have debates and things like that. And he called me. He was in Philadelphia, and he called me up, and I was in Los Angeles. He said, "Brother, I miss talking to you." And I told him, I said, I tell you what, we're gonna talk every day, but we're gonna let everybody listen to us debate and talk. We're gonna do it on the air. That was our whole business plan. A whole business plan. And so I paid $49, got a blog talk, and I met this guy. He told me, because he has 750,000 listeners, and I asked how he get the listeners. And he told me, he said, post your links to your show in the Facebook groups. So every morning I would wake up. First thing I did is I got up every morning at 6 o'clock. You got to master the morning. You can't lay in bed and be successful. Make up your bed every morning. I make up my bed every morning. Even my maid tells me that. She said, "I've never made up your bed." My maid has never made up my bed. None of my maids ever made up my bed. Never. Never. That's the first thing I do is make up my bed. I make up my bed. I get up. I got on the computer. I started posting links to my show in 50 different groups. I joined 50 different groups, and every morning I put in those 50 different groups, start my show at 8 o'clock, get off at 11, answer emails. The rest of the day was mine. My show grew every day for 2 years straight. I just stay consistent. I'm giving you how I did mine. I put in the work. Everything's going to require work. Y'all look at the results and think somebody just got lucky. Nobody got lucky. It was work. I walked. I didn't have an internet. I used to walk. I went to Rosecrans Central in Compton, California, to a Starbucks. That Starbucks right there at the corner. I used to go in there and do my shows. A lot of the guys from NWA and the ex-mayor, they were Piru Bloods. They would come by, talk to me, met me and everything. I actually sat in some meetings with one. OG took me to a meeting. I'll never forget that experience. That was a very memorable experience. And met a lot of dudes. I used to walk up to the college up there. I walked everywhere. because I didn't have internet just to do my show at 8 o'clock. I'd get up every morning. I did that shit for a year. Walked. Listen to my old shows, how bad the audio is. So then I decided to get me a mic. Where's that mic? First mic, I just got it right here. This is the first mic I bought that changed my audio because I said, you know what? I'm a radio host. I still got that mic. This is the first mic. When I start getting good audio, this is the mic. I got a Behringer mixer. I got that here too. I'm about to open up a studio for podcasting too because I got so much equipment. I got enough for 5 studios. But I still got this mic. I kept this mic right here and started doing my radio shows with. Bought this first. It's a Shure mic. Got this and I loved it. And this mic right here, it changed the game. All of a sudden, I got my radio shows sounded a lot nicer because I was doing everything through a cell phone. Radio shows got nicer, got me a nice little mixer, cleaned up the sound a little bit, and I just started progressing. I started making money, started reinvesting it into my business, and just kept growing, staying consistent, growing, and just kept it moving. Nobody gave me anything. Doing webinars on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can do it too. You can do it too. You know, I'm not nobody special. The only thing I had was determination because as a convicted felon, I understood and I want to talk to all my convicted felons out there right now. As a convicted felon, what I understood was I didn't have no choice. I got no choice, man. If I go get no job, you'll fire me. You know, nobody will hire me or nothing like that. That was a blessing. I won't work for nobody, no way. Well, I get mad because these people don't want to hire you. Fuck them. Let them go suck a dick and die. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I'm going to go and do this shit myself. That's the attitude that you should have, especially when you get out. You got a convicted felon going to give you a job. Fuck them. Go start your own shit. Figure it out. You a hustler and refuse to do anything illegal. Just stay away from drugs. Stay away from that shit. Stay away from negative. Change your circle of people. Change. If you want to change in your life, do not hang around the people you hung around. That's another thing I did. I made a commitment to only hang around businessmen. For 2 years, I was by myself until I started getting into a group of businessmen. And the first group of businessmen I got into were businessmen who were trading negotiable instruments all over the planet. And they started showing me about safekeeping receipts. And that's what I was going to talk about a little bit ago about you talking about putting gold in a trust. You need a SKR, a safekeeping receipt. Where's your safekeeping receipt? If you got to use something like gold or something like that, you need a safekeeping receipt. SKR, Google it. Anyway, brother,
I don't believe I've ever heard of that.
Calls, I know people like, nigga just talking, but I have to talk. A lot of times, though, when I talk, when I started this is what people got to understand, too. When I first started all of this, I didn't start it for I started I started high frequency radio talking to people who were in prison. That's what I started my show for, because that was another thing I said. I will have an audience because 1 out of 3 people have been in jail. So my whole, business plan was to first go to people who've been convicted felons. I didn't come up here to talk about discharging an automobile or a house or getting your kids back, anything like that. That ain't why I started it. I started it because I went through the system. I saw what they were doing with the system. That's where my heart was at, and that's who I was talking to. I was talking to those people. I wasn't talking to nobody else. When I started inviting other people on the platform, it just so happens that you discharge a criminal case the same way you discharge a mortgage. They're exactly the same. So, obviously people start asking me questions about that. I knew how to do an administrative process for that too. But that's not why I started this platform.
90 seconds.
It got about 90 seconds. If you're listening on Blog Talk, you need to call in. The call-in number is 563-999-3616, or you go to YouTube and listen on YouTube. You ain't got to. That's if you're listening to me on Blog Talk. But it's about to cut.
Well, I was going to welcome you to the stream, the morning coffee hour. But I guess I can't offer you any coffee if you're not here to have coffee, damn it.
cut off on Blog Talk. The people who are online already, it's not going to cut you off. I see your hands. I'm going to get to your questions, but it's going to cut off, and we're going to go into overtime, and overtime lasts about an hour. Okay, it lasts about an hour. Okay. But anyway, brother, I appreciate it. Seconds. Let me go to the next call. Okay, I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. I appreciate all the answers, man. You gonna have this stage on a lot, like you're gonna stage this live, right?
I'm what? I didn't hear you.
Are you gonna stage this live?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I don't use Facebook Live that much, but yeah, you can call me on that. Facebook Live. I usually do Instagram.
No, I'm asking, are you going to stage live? Save it.
Oh, this yeah. This is gonna be up. Yeah. It's gonna be on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
Yeah. We on YouTube right now. So you go on YouTube right now. You can see right now. YouTube. All right, bro.
All right, appreciate it. Peace.
All right, let's go to 513-8274.
10 seconds.
Hello.
513.
What's going on?
What's happening, bro? What's happening? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Man, you start talking about the family trust. That just made me just get some real good ideas on how I can write up some things. I picked up when you say stuff, I just type it in this thing called Scribe. You know what I'm saying? It's like $11 a month, but they give you all types of documentation. It's for y'all. But it's activating and funding the Pure Business Trust. I didn't even think about a business trust. I was putting together a trust.
Welcome to the morning coffee hour. We're going to pour you guys some coffee here. Give me a second. All right, here you go. Some hot, steamy coffee to start your day off right. Get you in the right mood. Oh, that's too funny shit. Hey, Christos, good to see you, bud. I'm not sure if you're here or not anymore, but at least you popped your head in the door and gave me the middle finger, and I always enjoy your comments, thoughts. No doubt about it. All right, there goes the coffee for this morning. We'll get back to the video. Whoops, wrong way.
I wasn't even thinking about it. But then when I read it, it was something that was very interesting. It says, never accept any registered mail. Never accept mail at your personal address that is addressed to the board of trustees of the trust or manager of the LLC. So, I'm like, don't accept registered mail. I mean,
that's called that's
so much stuff I want.
That's trust administration, and that's how you got to maintain privacy. Those are all techniques in maintaining privacy, because because what we're talking about is a private trust. It's a private business trust. We call it an irrevocable trust, but it's an irrevocable private business trust. Essentially, is what it is. They call it many different names: a contractual trust, a Massachusetts trust. I got many different names that it uses, but essentially, it's private in nature. So, trust administration is important for the trustees to know how to maintain privacy, because the people who you're going against, they always trying to get rid of your privacy. They're always trying to figure out a way to pierce that privacy protection that you got. So, so that's why you have to be skillful in what you do. They'll ask you a question, like you go into the bank and you try to open up a bank account. The only part of the indenture agreement that the bank needs to see is the portion that gives permission for the trustees to open up the bank account and gives them the authority to do it, and what bank, the trust minutes that are associated with that. But then they might ask you to see your whole indenture agreement. Like, hell no, you're not seeing my whole indenture agreement. What's wrong with you? You don't need to see that. That's private. You don't give them all your information, but they'll try you to see if you know. They'll try you. They try you all the time to see if you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing? If you don't know what you're doing, they're gonna try you all the time, and you got to know how to maintain privacy. You know, that's what it's all about: maintaining privacy, the integrity of the trust. The trust administration is everything. Forming a trust ain't shit. I ain't impressed by people passing out around paper. Somebody got a trust. That's not nothing. You can do that in one day. It take you 9 months to learn how to administer a trust.
Yeah.
Forming a
Like, subscribe, and share to High Frequency Radio. That's who this video is brought to you by. If you go over there and subscribe to him, tell him Larry James 965 sent you. He's always got some really good information. He's got good spirit, good positive energy. I might not agree with everything he says, but most of it's pretty right on.
trust ain't nothing.
Like, whoa.
That's not nothing. That's not nothing to me. Somebody said, I got a trust. Okay. You got a 9(8) number, you got an indenture agreement. Okay, good. All right, what's next? You know, if you're going to really form a real indenture agreement and you down with someone who will consult you, like maybe a Gwen Wyckoff or something like that, it probably will be a lot more involved, especially if you got a lot of assets, real assets and money. It's not going to be easy to put one together because you do need to have someone to sit down and look at the things that you got and the best way to, you know, administer that property that you're seeking to put into a trust. But the average person out there that ain't really got a lot and y'all talking about forming a trust, that's not nothing. If you got a trust indenture agreement, that's okay. Those not hard to get. You can go to American Jurisprudence and they got a section of books in there and they got trust indenture agreements for business trusts in there. You go to the law library and get one. I got them. I copied them and yeah, I got them on my computer right now. You know, so that's not saying anything. Fill in the blank type boilerplate documents don't impress me. That's not evidence of anything. It's whether or not do you understand what you're doing. That's why you got to educate yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to, you know, starting with the family, what other better way to start with your family? Whatever mistakes and fuck ups you make, it's all in the family. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, start with the family. You know, take a year out, learn how to do this. And this is also how you keep the family together. Because once you start making money, let me tell you how these people keep their families together. Because don't get it twisted. They be hating each other, have disagreements, and all of that kind of shit too. But they understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, first of all, we got $100 million over here in this trust. It's taking care of everybody in the family. And if anybody violates the rules of the family and you get put out, like Warren Buffett did his niece, did y'all see on that show on YouTube where Warren Buffett put his youngest niece out because she talked to the media, and now she living in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere, ain't got no access to nothing, ostracized from the rest of the family. That's what happens. That's how you keep the family together. Love ain't doing it. Love is not doing it. You forget that. Huh?
Took the words out of my mouth, man. That's how you keep the family together.
It ain't love. Y'all looking for love to keep the family together. That ain't doing it. That's not doing it. All right. It's a bigger purpose that's keeping the family in a cohesive unit. And that is the higher purpose. The higher purpose is the family name and the objective of the family. And you have to have things in place that'll keep that together. You do, and that's what a family trust does. It keeps the family together. Keeps the family together. But you know, you got to give somebody something to lose, you know, and you can't trust nobody who don't have as much to lose as you do. This trust thing is another thing. You trust people who have as much to lose as you do. So you got to give them something to lose, man. Give them something to lose, something big to lose. Make them think twice about it. They go and cheat on each other and sleep with other people. They ain't finna get no divorce. They ain't getting no divorce, so they do all of that. No, they ain't angels. They ain't talking about these people like they angels, but they understand, hey, you got to marry this person over here. You know, you got to do this. You got to, you know, it's a different type of game. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say though, like you talking about something to lose. Listening to you, right? And like I got some templates from the Morris Science templates. So I put together this and I deposited it in this traffic case. And I asked you a bond. You know what I'm saying? Actually, the prosecutor highlighted a part of my documentation, and then he gave me a bunch of old bonds from 1999 and 2006. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but see, he and I'm gonna read it. It said all officials are required by federal, state, and municipal law to provide the name, address, and telephone number of their public hazard and malpractice bonding company, and the policy number of the bond. And if required, a copy of the policy describing the bonding of their specific job performance. Failure to provide this information constitutes corporate and limited liability insurance fraud, and is prima facie evidence and grounds to impose lien upon the official personally to secure their public oath and service of office. So
that sounds like a document. Who wrote that? Because that's somebody sending a notice to somebody. They got to provide their public hazard bond that allows them to operate in the public. And that is public information. They do have to provide that information. That's exactly right. They got to provide it. They go ahead.
They provided 2011. They provided one from 1956 or something. They didn't even. So when I
well,
when
is it still?
Here,
I mean,
and I used it twice.
The age of it is not. It's just when is it mature, or it's a bond is an insurance. It's like insurance. Bond means promise. That's all bond means. So they take an oath of office. That's their promise, and then they insure that oath. Okay, that oath. Their word is they bond, but they put a monetary value attached to that oath. They do the same thing when you come into the country. They do the same. I had to learn this when I was in jail doing legal work for individuals. When somebody comes into the country, Homeland Security will ask them, okay, well, how much money are you bringing into the country? What are you here for? How long are you going to be here? Okay, if that person comes into the country and commits a crime and they arrest them, first thing they got in their discovery on the top of that is that document from Homeland Security. They got an OMB number on it. That's a bond. And they cashing that shit in. You just broke your word. You said you were coming over here with this much money. You said you were coming in our country with this, and you didn't do none of that shit. And now we're finna cash it in on your ass. And that's in their discovery. And then they asked them, do you want to speak to the who is it? He's responsible for the commercial affairs in their country. My mind went blank. But they're telling them check no on that. It's all commercial, brother. I didn't see the way they're hiding it. It's an overlay. They got the law right here, and then they got the commerce above it as an overlay. It's an and they got all the words the same and everything. They were very skillful. It took a very intelligent person to conceal this shit, man. And it's all concealed with words.
Yeah.
That's why you got to learn with words. It's very intelligent, man. And they lying because they say, that's some bullshit. Ask them to fill out an affidavit. Oh, this is some bullshit. Well, will you sign this affidavit under penalty of perjury that is some bullshit? Then see what happens. Because one thing I'm going to tell everybody, you look at me right now when I'm saying, they may act like there's no God. They got all this shit, like ain't really no God. They telling you all that. Test them on that. Oh, you don't think there's no God? Let's see. Sign this affidavit under penalty of perjury. There ain't no God. Why you care? Just an affidavit. Sign it. Swear under penalty of perjury. Swear to God what you're saying is true. They take that shit serious. That's how you know them. That's one thing. Test them and see if what I'm saying is true. They don't take that. They rather obfuscate.
No.
Even when you look at the CPNs, if you read them articles on CPNs, you got to read the article and see how they word and everything. They don't want to really directly say, they say, well, this person went to jail, but then you read the case law, you see why they went to jail. Well, hell yeah, they went to jail. They committed fraud. But the CPN number is not illegal. Where's the injury? If I got a CPN number, where's the injury? If I got a credit card with a CPN number and I pay all my bills on time, where's the injury?
Yes, sir. Well, I did want to say, I think that the judge. So I think the judge thought that I was able to do a commercial lien. Now I wasn't until, you know what I'm saying, and I feel like I still ain't put the templates together, to be honest. But I wasn't until
You gonna put a
commercial liens.
You gonna put a commercial lien on the judge?
No, these little magistrates and these little traffic.
Well, I mean, okay, well,
and I wasn't going to do.
You cannot put a lien on it. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you this. You can only attack a public official if they operate outside the ambit of their delegated authority. I'm gonna give you an analogy.
Okay.
These magistrates and judges, they employees of the state. You're attacking employees. Are you going to go to T-Mobile and call on the phone and you had a billing issue and you get into it with the customer service rep and you're going to start saying, I'm put a lien on your ass, give me your name? That's why they operate under limited liability, because they have somebody, they are administrators. What that means is they following the directives of somebody telling them what to do. So they got guidelines they follow and procedures. So you can't attack them. You can only attack when they refuse to follow those guidelines and procedures. Now you can get them in their personal capacity, because now they're doing their own shit. So you got to be able to prove they're doing their own shit if you want to attack them. And you attack them in their personal capacity.
You're right.
Because if you attack them in their public capacity, you're not suing them. You're suing the state. You're going up against the state.
Yeah.
You're not going up against them when you sue a public official. You sue a public official, you're suing the state. I got that straight out the law books, and any attorney will tell you the same thing. You're not suing a public official, you're suing the state. Because if you can't prove he didn't do anything outside what he's permitted to do with them rules of procedure. Same thing with an officer. What the first thing they do with a police officer? They shoot him down, y'all raise hell. The chief of police come up there and say, you follow procedure. We're just going to put him on 2 weeks leave, paid leave. Oh, shit, they just corrupt. They corrupt. He followed the procedure. If he don't follow as long as he follows the procedure, you can't do nothing. You can't touch it. Because that means he said, I did everything you told me to do. That's what that means.
You know what? You was right. I shouldn't have said the judge. I really should have said, because I asked the prosecuting attorney, are you going to put an appearance in the case? And he was like, you know what, I'm going to leave this alone. And that's the person who there really is no plaintiff. There's no injured party. So I asked him, did he do that? Did he make an appearance in the case to be the so-called injured party? And that was the person I was going to probably lean on. You think that's the person?
And he put no appearance in the case, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, notice the entry of appearance. That's when he takes on the liability, when he puts in a notice of entry of appearance. But that's why you have a bar card. The bar card is evidence that he's insured. His bar card number. That's his public hazard bond. Everybody in the public got to be bonded and insured in some kind of way. Anybody who comes in, all public actors are insured because they gave an oath, and the oath has to be insured. You got to have something in place. What if they don't keep their word? They took an oath. What happens if they don't keep their word? There has to be a penalty. The penalty is monetary. It's pecuniary in nature. That's the penalty. Everything is commerce.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Now, this is one. It's like a lazy man question, but when it comes to like having an affidavit, put it on record that what I'm saying, to kind of rebut some of the presumptions they put on you. is it like is it one? You have to do many of them. I heard you talking about one earlier about Social Security and doing one particularly for that one. But is there one you can put together and it will address all of them? Will it be real long or
I mean, you got,
like I said, it's a lazy man.
That affidavit of sovereignty is my favorite because you're talking about addressing minimum contacts. See, minimum contacts is the term you need to know. Minimum contact. Minimum contacts. That's what gives jurisdiction to them, is a minimum contact. That's it. So you got to address minimum contacts. Minimum contacts are all the invisible contracts that you are involved in. Did you incorporate in their jurisdiction? Are you using the internet? Did you put your children in public school? Did you register your car? Did you get a driver's license? Are you using Federal Reserve notes? Using Federal Reserve notes is a minimum contact. That's a minimum contact. That's why back in the day, let me tell you something. Back in the day, when I got into this, a lot of guys, they were doing seminars and they would only take gold and silver. You couldn't pay for their seminar in Federal Reserve notes. You had to come to the seminar, you had to go buy some gold, and then come to the seminar and get them gold and silver. You couldn't come to the seminar with Federal Reserve notes. That's how dudes were doing, you know what I'm saying? Because they understood this. A lot of guys don't. That's why I'm always talking about John Wick. John Wick, they trying to teach you something. They didn't do all business in John Wick was conducted with gold. They didn't use no technology. They were off the grid, and they had an agreement. It was a society. Watch all the John Wick. Listen to the dialogue. I think especially if there's John Wick 4 now, which is real good. Listen to the dialogue, what they're saying. They're telling you, we got a society. We got agreements. When they let you in their society, you got to follow the rules. That's the same thing with the social contract in the public. That's why they're looking at it as a minimum contract. They're saying to you, you under a contract, you agreed to come in this society with everybody as a U.S. citizen and follow the rules that rule over U.S. citizens. The rules to that. It's a society. And you're saying, well, I wasn't given full disclosure of all these rules, and I don't think I want to be a part of your society anymore. And they'll say, well, good, stop using our shit then. Stop using our social security number. Stop using our banks. Stop coming in the grocery. Stop using our shit. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to be a part of our society. Stop using our shit. But if you want to keep using the shit, if you want to be in the world but not of it, get a corporation. That's why we're doing it. That's why everybody say, okay, well, then, I'm gonna stop using your shit, but my company ain't.
Hello.
My company's gonna use all the shit now. I'm not using it. That's the game.
Yep.
That's the game. That's the whole game right there. That's the game. Game is put everything in the corporation. That's the game. That's the game. Own and control everything. That's been the game. Who that said? I think Rockefeller said it. Rockefeller was right. He said, own nothing, control everything. That was it. He says the name of the game. Name of the game. And when you go back and study Express Trust under the law,
there we go.
What they were talking about, see, I'm gonna tell you, you need to really watch that movie Time Life magazine put out. It's called The Men Who Built America, and it's about J.P. Morgan, Carnegie, Vanderbilt, who had the railroads, Carnegie had the steel, and Rockefeller had the oil. All right, that's where the game Monopoly came from. You look at the game Monopoly, it's really built off those four guys: the railroad, the oil, all that kind of stuff. So, because they were monopolizing. Vanderbilt monopolized the railways. Morgan monopolized the banks. Rockefeller monopolized the oil. And he had Standard Oil, which is now Mobil and Exxon. And Carnegie had the steel, which he built the cities. And when he built the cities, we came out of the country and went into the cities, gave up our land in the country to work jobs in the city. And all these guys. So the thing about it is when you go back and study trust, they had the antitrust laws. I think that's when they took over the government and they started doing everything because they was cool with just doing business as long as the government didn't get in their business. They started fucking with the U.S. government and took over the U.S. government when the government started getting in their business because they were monopolizing everything. And that's what pissed them off. And that's when they took over the government. In 1912 and 1913, they started doing it. They said, okay, y'all want to fuck with us? We're just going to take y'all motherfuckers over. That's what happened. That's what I get in my research, just me just reading everything and thinking how rich, powerful men are. They was cool. They were monopolizing everything. They had no problem with the government. They put together the Massachusetts Trust because they didn't want to put everything under a corporation because the government had control of it. So they got mad. So the government didn't have any laws on the books to address private trust back then. But they made amendments to the IRS code in 18, 1922, and 1926. They made like 3 amendments to it to address it. That's why they couldn't tax them. And everybody had their property and real estate. And they're like, no, we got to do something about this. And that's when that's why I think they took over the government. They started getting pissed off. They said, well, you know what? We're going to bankrupt these motherfuckers and make them depend on our money. We're going to take their money, make them depend on our money and take over these motherfuckers. Because y'all coming in here fucking with our business. We wasn't bothering nobody. Yeah, we monopolized it, but we did the shit and we did it on our own. And here you come getting our business. Now you got to pay. That's what I think. That's what I think happened. For me reading everything that I read, the antitrust laws that started fucking with them, and they like broke up Standard Oil, start breaking up their corporations and shit like that. I said, okay, all right, you don't fuck with no rich and powerful man. They don't play that, man. I think like Rockefeller and all them dudes, you know, they had so much money. They had more money than the government. Some of them, they had more money than the government.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was coming there fucking, yo, you fucking with me? Okay, I can see it. I probably would have had the same attitude too. And knowing how my personality is, I done built me a business, making money, got all these people employed. I ain't fucking with nobody. Here you come, mad because I'm controlling everything in my industry. Okay. We see if I'm gonna just roll over. I ain't just gonna roll over. And I think that's what happened. That's when they went to work. It was the early 1900s. They went to work. They started getting them laws passed. All the dudes that was going to be against the Federal Reserve Act put their ass on the Titanic and sunk that motherfucker. That ought to go and tell you what kind of men you was dealing with. Because everybody who was against the Federal Reserve Act died on the Titanic. They sunk a whole motherfucking ship. What do you think they'll do to you? Man, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up and know who you dealing with. These people ain't playing about what they doing. They is not playing. They want total control. They want total control, all out control, total. They want control of your thoughts. They put it out movies talking about you can catch a crime because you thought some shit. Anyway, bro, is there any more questions?
I wanted to say though, yeah, like okay, I remember you talking about notary protest process, right?
Right.
But when I was reading with the commercial liens and most potent method, it seemed not to have that. Meaning you can do it by yourself.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can, but let me tell you, what you call it wrote that book. There's another book actually that's real good on commercial. There's only 2 books in existence that I know of to talk about commercial liens. I had both of them and I lost the other one. Somebody got it from me. But the point is this: you can't put a lien on somebody without giving them notices. You just can't just arbitrarily and capriciously put a lien on a person because you pissed off. There's a process in putting a lien on someone. You got to give them notices, man. The administrative process is about giving notices and having evidence that you gave notice. Where's your proof that you gave notice? Administrative process, we call it administrative process, but what it is giving notice and having proof that I gave notice. That's an equitable, principle. You got to follow principles of equity, man. You can't do what you want to do. That's why I said, what is the first thing I said? Study the principles of equity. That's your guideline. Huh?
It's a better question then.
All right, go ahead.
It's a better question then. Okay. Because I remember when you talk about the notary protest process, you were talking about how, it goes through they're the middleman, or what I'm saying, or it goes through wherever their mailbox is or whatever box they use. You know what I'm saying? But I guess with the commercial lien process, you just have to have a notarize what you spent, and then instead of going through him. Am I right with that?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's look at it. A notary is a witness. All right, that's what a notary is. A witness. Somebody can only testify when they have firsthand knowledge of something. So a notary protest, if the notary is going to be a witness, they have to be the middleman that's privy to everything. She got to have firsthand knowledge that she mailed something out. She has to have firsthand knowledge that you were instructed to mail something back and nothing came back on a specific date. She's your witness. Okay. So everything has to run through her. These principles, see how I just did that? All that stuff you're talking about, I went straight to what? What is it? You're going to bring evidence or testify on something you have firsthand knowledge of. If the notary is going to be a witness, they have to have firsthand knowledge. So all that other stuff, I don't pay attention to it. It's like, no, it's about, I know how court works. You can't, that's why an attorney cannot testify, because they don't have firsthand knowledge of nothing. They have to call witnesses. And they said, you swear to tell the truth. Then you have to swear in. What affidavit? That's evidence. Affidavits are evidence, because you're attesting to something you know firsthand knowledge. First thing you say in the first paragraph, I swear that I know of what I'm talking about. You can do a deposition. You got to swear in on that. They ask you questions. You got notarized documents, and then you come in court and testify in court. Testify on the stand, deposition, notarized documents, and affidavits. That's it, man. All commercial liens got to be supported by an affidavit. They got to be supported by an affidavit. It has to be an affidavit supporting it. And then you got to be able to prove that you did what you did. I'm not saying an administrative process is the only way. I just happen to think it's the best way. I haven't seen a better way. Show me a better way where you can present evidence in court according to the rules of court. That's what I'm looking at. Fuck all this other shit y'all reading. How you gonna bring that into court? All roads lead to court. Anytime I'm doing administrative process, in the back of my mind is, if I go to court, I got my ducks in a row. That should be your thoughts. Because if you don't have your ducks in a row to go to court, you could end up being the one liable for something.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I got to move to the next caller. I got some people in hold. All right.
Oh, yeah. Real quick. I say one more thing, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, you were talking about the Jews earlier, and I talked to a Jew, and one thing I remember is that the Wailing Wall and the Kaaba are right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? So they go to the Wailing Wall and they cry about Solomon's temple down. They don't want to rebuild Solomon's temple. They got all the money in the world. They claim to be the chosen people of the Almighty. You can read in Ezra and Nehemiah. They cried to Cyrus to build the temple up. Ezra did. Nehemiah did. They was crying. They were like, oh, well, the king thought they was sad.
Hope you're doing well. We're just kind of kicking back, learning about all this process and procedures, and that's about it. We'll go ahead and get some coffee rolling here for you. Try to there I go with the try. We'll pick up the pace a little bit here. How's that? There you go. Some nice, warm coffee, hot coffee for you. First thing in the morning. Start your day out right. Oh my gosh. All right. We'll get back to the video then.
But see, the Jews, they don't care about Solomon. They don't want to rebuild Solomon's temple. They don't want to do a sacrifice to the Almighty. They don't want to work. They got the Kaaba right in the middle of where the Almighty temple was destroyed. That's disrespectful. But they're right next to them, and they both allow this to happen. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about them people, and then you read the Talmud. The Talmud got all types of abominations.
Dude, Talmud. But let me qualify something real quick. I hate to say Jews, because all Jews are not a part of this. I had some very good Jewish friends. Jews gave me very good practical business advice. I'm not talking about all Jews. All Jews ain't in on this plot. It is Zionist Jews. we gotta qualify this with these Zionists. Okay, I try to use the word Zionist. You know, they got a religion and they got a religious belief and they entitled to it. However you feel about whether they the real Jews or not and all that, that's besides the point. I don't even get into that discussion, because if you're claiming that you're the real Jews, a real Jew to me is an individual who follows the 613 laws in the Torah. Okay. All right. Where's your covenant? You know, did you get circumcised on the 10th day? Are you under the covenant? Are you a Jew? Now, you might be Jewish by blood. I'm not denying any of that. But the thing is, are you following these laws? Okay. That's what, you know, and there's really no such thing as a Jew. There's a tribe of Judah. You know, that's another thing. Where does word Jew come from? That word Jew didn't exist, I think, until like the 14th century or something like that. There wasn't no word Jew. I forgot. I got to go back and study my history. Don't quote me on that. But that word Jew is a kind of new innovation. There wasn't no word Jew. Okay, you got the tribes. You got Judah, you know, or whatever. You didn't have no Jews or no, you know, this word Jew is kind of like a slang term. You know, so we're getting back to tribes. You know, you track back your tribe. Now we go back to the Khazars and the Ashkenazis from the Caucasus Mountains. I studied all that history and all that thing. I know that, and some of them know that. I can show you videos where they talk about, they know their history and things like that. I know. But at the end of the day, what does it really matter if they're in control of everything? If they're in control of the banks, if they're in control of the media, if they're in control of the radio, if they're in control of hip hop, if they're in control of their sports franchises, if they're in control of all of your groceries and all of that, everything that comes to your market, okay, they the biggest wholesalers in the entire world. The clothing, hell, I love Polo, Ralph Lauren. Found out Ralph Lauren is Jewish. I didn't even know that. I wear all this shit all the time. You know, I've been wearing this stuff ever since I was in 8th grade, and I just found out about a couple of months ago that Ralph Lauren is Jewish. Rich as hell, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have nothing against Ralph Lauren. I think he makes good clothing. I think he makes good clothing. You know, I have nothing against the man and nothing like that. I'm gonna continue to wear his clothes because I like Polo. But so that's not nothing on that. But at the same time, y'all worried about if they the real and everything, but they own every fucking thing around you. You think they care how you feel if they the real Jews or not? Hell no. They don't care. They don't care. They own everything. They don't care. Okay, whatever you say. You know, right? Go listen to, if you want to see their attitude, go listen to Rabbi Finkelstein. I love him because he got the attitude. You know, whatever you say, he's like, whatever you say, but hell, it looks like we're doing pretty good. You know, he said what he said. He said, you know, that's what your book says. Your book says we're evil. Your book says we're that. Ain't what our book say. Our book say we're gonna rule the world. That's, you know, like the Talmud you just got through talking about. So that's how they feel. So I'm, you know, it's like, who are you? You know, you going off your thing. My thing is show and prove. It's about action. All this talking, everything that sounds good. Who putting the action in? They very disciplined. They very unified. They, when they make money, they make sure everybody makes money. They follow principles of investing in business. Hell, they do a lot of things. I study them. They do. I can't. There's a reason that they running everything. It ain't just because they waved a wand and took over shit or just tricked somebody out their shit. They work hard and they work together. And they got it done. They in politics. We don't pay. They make sure all their children get a law degree. That's the number one thing they want their kids to have, a law degree. Everybody. That's why they flooded in the law. And right now, go on Wikipedia. Go right now and put in Google Jews in politics. Let me see if I can put this on for you. I'm put this for everybody to see right now. I'll put this for everybody to see. Let me pull this up. Let me just pull this up. I was just doing this today. I was just looking at this today. I was just looking at this today. I was just reading this. I was like, golly. I just want y'all, I want y'all to see this right quick. This, because they target stuff. They understand what they need to do to be in control. I mean, it's not like they're doing something illegal. You know, that's why they get mad. They start calling stuff anti-Semitic. They start saying, I can understand why they say that. They're like, okay, we own everything, but you know, it's like, what do you mean? You know, we did this. You sound like you an anti-Semitic, and they start attacking you and shit. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not anti-Semitic. So you got Jews politics in Israel. You're going to see also that 80% of Jews are Democrats. You go in non-Jewish politicians, Jews in politics. Where is it at? They had a Wikipedia. Let me see if I can just do it all. Jews, not in politics. Oh, yeah, I put politics. Let me put in government. List of Jewish politicians. So look at this right here. All right. So look at all these people. These all Jewish people. We got members of Congress over here. We go down to the members of Congress. And this ain't all of them. This go all the way back through history. You right now, you can look your Secretary of Treasury. She's Jewish. The Attorney General, he's Jewish. I mean, you just go down the line. They didn't went and occupied all the seats of government. So then when Trump come out and start talking about make America great again, they start talking about the Proud Boys and all of this, and they got, everybody thinking, oh, Trump is racist. What they can't do in politics, they can't say none of this. When they say liberal, they use all these other terms as placeholders, liberal, all this kind of stuff right here. These people have liberal views. They're Democrat. They have a communist type mindset to them and everything. And you can go and just see it yourself. Here, the members of Congress. You got, what is this? They're cabinet officials, governors of states, lieutenant governors, state attorney generals, state secretaries, state treasurers, municipal government. You go into the judges, you see that, you go and just start seeing it for yourself. They ain't hiding nothing. Go look at all the offices in your government right now. I say that they got probably about 70% of the offices in government right now. I'm just saying, they all on one accord. Their accord is, okay, now you understand why this agenda getting pushed. All right, all this LGBTQ stuff. Go back and study the history. Go back and watch Hitler, the greatest story ever told, and see whether the same things happen in Germany as the same things happen in the United States. The pornography, all of this kind of stuff, the lack of morality and all of that. They have to tear down the fibers of society to make a new world order. Out of chaos comes order. You have to bring in chaos and bring in order. It's called a new world order. They're going to destroy the old system and they want to put in a brand new system. And they want it worldwide. It's a worldwide. They want the whole world in the palm of their hand. And everybody on one accord. And the goal is, y'all listen to what I'm saying, one law, one religion. Ain't gonna be no multiple religions. They're gonna get rid of all of the religions. They're doing that right now. They're destroying all the other religions. They're destroying Christianity. The Christians look weak to me and my thing, because now some of them trying to stand up and try to talk right now. When all this other stuff talking about identified LGBTQ and all of this stuff, this is a Christian country. How y'all gonna let them get that off? I didn't even understand that. And feminist movement. Right. How you gonna let the feminist movement get off? The man is the head of the household. What happened with that? It's God, man, and family. You know what happened with that? You know, they gave your women jobs. Who do you think gave them jobs? They gave them the jobs. They gave them jobs. Okay, we'll give their women some jobs. Disrupt they know that any time in any household that when a woman starts making more money than a man, that's going to cause some disruption in the household. That's not hard to determine. All you got to do is look in their neighborhood, see if that's going on in their neighborhood. 97% of Jews who marry Jews, they practice their religion. I'm on time. Jews who marry Jews, 97% of them, they ain't dealing with none of this stuff that y'all dealing with. In some Jewish communities in Brooklyn, they don't even allow TVs in their community. They don't even have TVs in their community. Come on now. Y'all need to see what's up. They ain't allowing their children to get, you go in the neighborhood, in any neighborhood, you see they got their own synagogues, they got their own schools they send their children to. They ain't teaching their children ain't getting the same education your children is getting. They get a bar mitzvah and a bat mitzvah at 12 and 13 years old. They learn to respect the laws of God at an early age. They learn natural law. Then they start teaching them man-made law. They send almost all of them go get a law degrees. Come on, man. They work for it. They work for it. He who can be fooled, there's a maxim of law. He who can be fooled, let him. Einstein, Jew, made the formula for the atomic bomb. Charles Darwin, Jew, what did he say? Oh, we think y'all kind of came from animals. You think they teaching their children they came from animals? Y'all need to wake the fuck up. This shit ain't even that intelligently done. You had to dumb down some motherfuckers to make them fall for this shit. This shit, when you go back and just study it, you're like, man, this is, you know, all the people, Noam Chomsky and all these people they got who are they brain people and everything. They brilliant philosophers. I go listen to that shit. It ain't nothing but some atheistic, communistic, liberal type of ideology that's being pushed onto the public under the guise of something intelligent. And if you're looking at me and you don't like what I'm saying, I'm telling you, that shit is ridiculous. It's not intelligent. We descend from the greatest people on this fucking planet. And you can go over there in Egypt right now and look on them damn walls. There's black people on those walls. We built that shit. How dare you? How you have the unmitigated gall and to sit here and try to act like we are the lowest on the totem pole on this planet.
I know I got to go, man, because I was here too long now. I just want to say real quick, I grew up in a Jewish community, you know what I'm saying? I used to go to their house, Ben Stein and Sachs, and they used to have the big houses with the stair, with the spiral stair. They used to have these cradles. They used to invite me over and stuff. I grew up in Jewish community. I'm an Israelite, that's why, you know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they hate, but it just is what it is. I was trying to start. You know what I'm saying? I grew up
some of the things they say about us is true. Look at our women, what they doing? They're out twerking and shit, you know, doing all kind of crazy shit. We ain't got control of our families, our children. They all wilding and everything like that. Some of it is, you know, like, I mean, what's the root cause of it? But look, you can't see what's going on. That shit has almost got out of, listen to the music, man. I can't even listen to the music. I can't even listen to the music. And I grew up in hip hop. I'm a hip hop head. And I can't even listen to this music that they're listening to. I'm a hip hop head. I love beats. I still love beats. It's my favorite type of beat is a hip hop beat. I love it. And a good hip hop beat. But I just can't, some of the stuff that they talking about in the music, how women getting programmed to be, you know, like promiscuous and, you know, promiscuity, they trying to normalize promiscuity and everything. You know, and the women, you out there trying to say, well, you know, it shouldn't matter how many people I slept with. It will always matter how many men you slept with. You will never get a man you will never, listen to me, you will never get men to accept that. That hasn't been accepted since the foundations of the planet. And if you think you are, you's a damn fool.
They is fools. A lot of them is.
You would never get a man to accept that.
But my bad.
That's the root of what's going on with the relationships right now. Ain't no man gonna accept the fact you done had 50 men up inside of you, and you sitting there saying, I'm supposed to accept that, and I know about it. Not no man of any value who's worked hard to establish himself. Maybe somebody who don't value nothing. A man don't value nothing. Them the only kind of men that accept shit like that. Men who don't value themselves. They have low standards.
Anyway, peace, my brother. Thank you for letting me on, man. I appreciate you, family.
I appreciate that, bro. Peace. That'd be hard to talk about some of this stuff. I know I'm gonna offend some people, but I came from the school of thought, speak the truth, though it be bitter to others. That's what you have to do. They didn't even talk about it in the mouth, like, you know, it was like sweet in the mouth, but when it gets in the belly, it gets sour and everything, you know. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, that's what the truth does. You just got to tell somebody got to come and say it, because obviously what society is operating off of right now ain't working. You're being allowed to see that when you do your own thing, you'll destroy yourself. When you start going away from God and the laws of God, natural laws, the laws that he's laid down, you start talking about a man can be a woman, a woman can be a man. He's just going to show you, I'm going to let you do all that, and I'm going to let you see that you're going to destroy yourself. I had to do that with a young lady I was dating. You know, I was taking care of her. She didn't want to get taken care of. She said that being a housewife is slavery. This is what they saying. They saying being a housewife is slavery. She out there in the strip club right now. I say it, in the strip club. That's the life she wants. So I got to show her, I say, you know what? I have to allow you to see for yourself, because I've already lived that life. I already hustled, and I've been in the world. I've been in the strip clubs. I did all of that. I know where it leads. That ain't nothing but a dark life. That whole lifestyle is dark. Hustling, selling dope, being in strip clubs, taking drugs, smoking weed, taking dope, and that's a dark lifestyle. You always feel like you got a cloud over your head. There's a dark cloud everywhere you go. There's no peace of mind. Ain't no peace of mind. You can pretend like it is all you want. I was there. You can't tell me. I did all that shit. I think that's why I got sent. You can't talk to a person and I done did all the shit you want to do. I done did the shit you want to do because I had money to do it. The shit you want is getting your bag and all. I did all that shit several times over. And you ain't got it to first base yet. And you thinking it's like that. I'm here to try to tell you that's what it is. You think you know. Y'all, you're gonna get old. You're gonna get old. You young people out there calling people old, your ass is gonna get old. With all them tattoos on your body, you're gonna get old. All right, you ain't staying young forever. You're not staying. By the time you hit 30, them 20-something's gonna be calling you old. By the time you're 30, 32, 33, talk to a 23-year-old, they're gonna call your ass old. So you old. You're gonna start calling you old. That's gonna start happening too. You ain't staying young. You're on the clock. You're on the clock just like everybody else. You ain't nothing special. You have your turn right now. Somebody coming behind you is going to be their turn next. They're going to have a different slang. They're going to have different music, and all the shit you was doing, they're going to say that shit is outdated. They're going to be talking about you. All the technology you got in your hand is going to be old. What? Y'all had what kind of phone? What's an Android phone? We got shit in we got chips in our hand. Y'all operated cars off gas? What? Gasoline? What's that? People gonna be saying all of that. Your time is now, but it's passing. You better make the most of it, and you better make good, intelligent decisions. Good, intelligent decisions. I live that lifestyle, man. That lifestyle ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna give you the keys right now. The key is you have to start honoring the creator, the boundless universe. If you want the protection of God, you have to follow God's word. And I'm not talking about Christianity, Islam, Hebrew Islam. I'm not saying it in that sense. I'm saying it is when you start to really understand God and laws. Fuck all this shit, your own philosophy and how you feel about something. I'm talking about you got to start with something, immutable laws. Once you start studying the immutable laws, you can't understand God until you understand nature, because the evidence of God is in nature. That is the demarcate. That is the baseline for everything, nature. That's the baseline to determine whether you're crazy or not. Because only a crazy person goes against nature, because natural laws are immutable. So if you think you go against them, you're crazy. That's why they say the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, because that's going against the natural law principle of cause and effect. That's why they say you insane. Nothing new is under the sun. If we telling you we've been in them damn strip clubs, I've been in there throwing money and did all of that, and you want to listen to me say, I go in the strip club. Strip club look exactly the same it did 50 years ago. Look exactly the same. Women still dress the same, dance the same, and dudes do the same. Only thing I see is motherfuckers in there got skinny jeans now. That's it. And the music is different. That's the only two different things. Everything else is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Ain't nothing changed. Come on, man. Y'all, and your life is not going to correct itself until you start learning to live honorably, until you start respecting your fellow man. It's not going to change. If you want peace of mind, it's spiritual. Peace of mind is spiritual laws. It's not something that you can just do. Like, I'm going to just do what I want. You got to study. You got to study to show yourself approved. So you got to begin with spiritual laws. You need some sort of guidance. That's why I say seek wisdom. Make wisdom. And one of the greatest things I do appreciate is when I was young, for some reason, I fell in love with wisdom. I only read wisdom. I started with Proverbs. I wrote the Sirach of Jesus Christ. That's why I'm always telling you about the Emerald Tablets of Thought. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. You start reading books on wisdom. The I Ching, just especially in the Oriental, they got a lot of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Zen, Zen. I love Zen. That's when you begin to see that people can be talking about wisdom in the same way, but express it in a different way. It's just beautiful. And then you begin to appreciate, like, wow, this guy has an understanding of this thing. This Buddha and Jesus can say the same thing, but say it in different ways, and it'd be beautiful in both ways. Buddha can say it beautifully. Jesus can say it beautifully, but they're talking about the same thing. And you can look at that and you can like, wow, man, they talking about the same thing. And then that's when you begin to fall in love with wisdom. When we start falling in love with wisdom, then, it starts affecting your life. It starts controlling, your interaction with your fellow man, because you understand that there are consequences for your actions. And now you begin to understand what it says, govern yourself accordingly. You have to govern yourself accordingly. You can only govern yourself according to what you know. If you don't know nothing, make knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That should be the foundation of everything you're living. If you're not living life every day, learning something new, what are you living for? I see y'all. I gotta go. I see y'all on the next one. And I know there's some people in. I'm gonna come back on later on, and I get the callers when I come back in because my time is up. We're about to go off the air. I think I got time for one more. How much time I got left? I got time for one more. 985-6614. You on the air? I got time for one more. 985-6614.
What's going on?
Hey, what's happening, man? What's going on?
What's going on, UNC? Appreciate the answer, brother. Look, make it right quick. I'm in the SPC University. I started a process a bit. I got a chapter 13 going on, and I want to know how can I make a move before my secure part of the process is done, or do I have to wait?
No, you can always take action. Listen, man, I was taking action way before I did any secure party process. You don't have to do the secure party process is for discharging debt. That's solely what there's a status correction part in it because you have to give notice to the government of what your status is as a private individual because you need that status to access the value that can be put into the form of a bond. So that's why there's a status correction aspect to it. But no, you can take a lot of action without doing it. It's not necessary to do a secure party process. You can just do a status correction process can accomplish a lot. It can. I'm not the status correction like with your nationality. A lot of the things that they do is on point. There's a lot of shit that they do is on point. A lot of shit they do is on point. There's a lot of similarities between the two. There's some differences because one is dealing with commerce and negotiable instruments, and the other one is just dealing with status and and treaties and things of that nature, but they're attacking the same thing. They understand that this 14th Amendment citizen is the bullshit that we need to look out for. Some of the times I think that they don't understand that the commercial activity that they get involved in is the things that's tethering them to the system. They just think it's because I'm calling myself black. It's not because you're calling yourself black. It's because you're using Federal Reserve notes. They don't give a damn about what you call yourself. That don't mean shit to them. That might have meant something 50 years ago, 70, 80 years ago, maybe 100 years ago. It don't mean nothing today. Today, the world is ruled by corporations and commerce. Now, I read the law books all the time. The most important clause in the Constitution, y'all listen to me when I'm telling you, but all that's caused more litigation than any other clause in the Constitution is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, the Commerce Clause. You can get a Constitution interpretation and analysis, Supreme Court interpretation and analysis of the Constitution, and read the preface to that and let them Supreme Court justices explain that shit to you if you don't like how I'm saying it.
Gotcha. Is there any way I can discharge through this bankruptcy, or should I wait to finish the secure part of the process?
I mean, as far as you're going to try to discharge any debt, you can always tender them a negotiable instrument. The thing is you got to understand when you're talking about discharge and you're talking about negotiable instruments. Okay, anytime you're dealing with negotiable instruments, we're dealing with Article 3 of the UCC. You got to know the rules of negotiable instruments. Nowhere in the UCC does it say that you have to do a secure party process to discharge debt. It only gives you the guidelines that you operate under. So the thing is, the first thing is you got to be a holder in due course. You need to know what that means. That means you have to have a claim on an instrument. So how are you going to give notice of claim on an instrument? How are you going to give, that's what they established the commercial chamber for, is to give public notices. It's a place for commerce can be conducted and give public notice. That's why they have a UCC commercial chamber. But do you have to use it? No, because nowhere in the UCC does it tell you have to use the commercial chamber. It just says UCC 1-202 just says you got to give a notice. It doesn't say you got to give a notice that way. So if you have a way that you can give notice, witnesses, do you have to use a notary? No, you can use 2 witnesses. You have to use a notary. Use 2 witnesses. There are ways you can do things. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do it that way, but you got to follow the rules. There are rules to the game. It's just like Monopoly. It's just like Monopoly. When you play the game of Monopoly, my brother, okay, what do? You come in, play the game of Monopoly, and we open up the box top and pull out the Monopoly board and open it up. We want to play the game. Before the first thing everybody reach for to play the game is a token. Okay, let's play with a token. My token is, you're going to be an individual token. You want the association token. You want the partnership token. You want the company token, the corporation token, the estate token, or the trust token. What token are you going to play for? Play with. Matter of fact, we're going to give all y'all a default token because we know y'all don't know shit. So we're going to give you a default token called an individual. We just throw all y'all ass out with that. All right, so everybody got a token to play the game with. Okay, what's next? We need money. Everybody give them $1,500 a piece. We're going to pass that around the board because you need some money to play the game of commerce. This is what they're talking about. Every time a baby is born, they issue a bond for $650,000 because what? Every time there's a new body, they got to put some more money in the game. Got to be enough money to go around for everybody to play the game. That makes common sense. That makes common sense. You know what I'm saying? Have to be enough money for everybody. That's why they want a birth certificate. They need to know, oh, we got some new players on the board. That's why they have something against illegal aliens, because illegal aliens are coming over here working. They don't have a social security number. They're taking Federal Reserve notes out of the game and taking it back to their country. And they ain't got no record of it. They didn't issue no money in their name. If they want to play the game, get a social security number so we can issue some money in your name. You come over here and play the game with us. Don't come over here and sneak across the border and get some money, all right? And you're taking money out of our pocket. I had to be born and I had to guarantee that money. That's why on the back of my social security card, there's a red number that's on all the Federal Reserve notes. It's a game, man. It's a commerce game. So, okay. So, all right. So now, can I put money on free parking? Let me read the instructions. It don't say shit about putting $500 on free parking, dog. No, you can't put no. How do we get out of jail? 3 rows get you out of jail. It's rules to the game. So if you're going to use negotiable instruments, read Article 3 of the UCC and see what it say. Those are the rules to the game. Just look at it as a game. What can I do with a promissory note? The IRS already told you in the IRS employee manual, you can't pay no taxes with a promissory note because they got right there in the employee manual. They don't accept them. They accept bills of exchange. A bill of exchange is a 3-party instrument. It's like a check. It draws off of something. Usually they want something that's going to draw off something because the promissory note is just a 2-party instrument. It's just, if you give me a promissory note, what guarantee is it? That's a promise you're going to pay me. How do I get any type of security that you're going to pay me? You just give me a piece of paper, say you owe me something. Nobody's going to trust me. I dealt with guys who deal with anybody watching me right now. You know when I'm telling the truth. Dudes dealing with negotiable instruments all over the planet. Ain't nobody taking no negotiable instrument unless that motherfucker got a CUSIP number, a tracking number on it, an ISIN number or something like that. It's been verified in some kind of way and it's been supported by something. Nobody taking that shit. Know the game, man.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
What you said to read the Article 3 of the UCC, is it inside the Uniform Commercial Code Made Easy?
Is it inside the Uniform Commercial Code what?
The Uniform Commercial Code Made Easy, that book, story of Stephen Brooks by Robert M.
I don't know. I haven't read that book. There's a ton of books. You get a Westlaw business book and it got the Uniform Commercial Code in and they talk about it. There are a lot of different books got the Uniform Commercial Code you can read from. I haven't read that. But I mean, read it. I studied secure transactions by Douglas Whaley's Article 9 of the UCC. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It's on Amazon. I'm going to show you the book that I read that studied Article 9. And then it's just a good book that anybody who's like, you want to know about filing a UCC 1 and all of that kind of stuff, where you can go. Right here. You see this book right here? When I was in jail, I had this book sent in to me in jail, Secure Transactions. This book right here, it's like a Cliff Note book. It's like a Cliff Note. So I don't know if you know what a Cliff Note is. It's like a condensed version and get right to the point, But this right here, any of these Gilbert Law Summaries, it's called Gilbert Law Summaries. You can get one on Article 3. You get Gilbert Law Summaries on anything. This is what I would recommend, Gilbert Summaries. You know, it's Gilbert Law. See, they got Gilbert Law summaries on everything. Got on torts. You got, you know, Gilbert Law summaries on everything. You see it right here. Saw these Gilbert Law summaries. That would be what I would suggest that, you know, people, you know, get that. If you just get one on the subject that you're interested in. Like you have one right here on torts, ethics, legal ethics, you know, on everything. These are very, very good books, man. They're very, very good books. They're very, very good books. That's what I would suggest that you get. You know, so, but I'm not saying that's the only thing that you can get. You can learn a lot of different things from a lot of different books. There's so many different law books on different subjects. I mean, I don't know all of them. You know, it's like, all I can tell you is like, I saw that first Supreme Court justice tell those students when he gave a speech in Philadelphia. I can't remember which Supreme Court justice it was, but you know, that law student asked him, he said, how am I going to study the law? So much to learn. He said, you don't study that. You study the principles. You're not supposed to be studying that. You're supposed to be studying the principles of law, not all this other shit. Principles are what you study. Notice everything I'm saying to you is based off of some principle. The same thing with the laws of nature. When you talk about God, you got to go to, well, what are the principles? Because the principles don't change. Law means something that doesn't change. A true law does not change. That's why these statutes and codes and shit ain't real law. Those are not real laws. Real laws don't change. That's why you have a capital L law and a lowercase l law. When you see a capital L law, they're talking about the ones that do the definite article. You know, they're talking about something that doesn't change. They're talking about something that has to do with nature. And then you ain't gonna see a lot of them discuss that because they demons and they don't like to give any type of acknowledgement to the creator of the boundless universe. They think they man-made laws are separate from that when man-made laws rest on that. Because the king only gets a divine right of rulership if it's been ordained by God. That's why when you look on the chessboard, you got the king and queen, and right next to them, you got the bishops. What you talking about? You can't rule without God's sanction. Rule over his people. You rule over God's people. You got to have sanction to do that. And being a king, it means that you have been certified as an expert in the laws of God. That's a king. Thank Solomon for a second. Anyway, brother, I got to get off, man. My time is over. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. When your consultation is going to be back on and pop.
As soon as I get this website together, I'm going to crank them back up. I'm going to crank them back up, trust me. And it's going to be very soon. It's going to be probably within the next week. Be very soon, okay? It's not going to be a long time.
Appreciate you.
All right. All right, y'all. I want to appreciate everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed this presentation today. I really enjoyed it. I mean, you know, it's like y'all, I'm like, damn, you know, I appreciate all of the 7 principles. Thank you for the $7. Let me see all the people who gave donations. I appreciate you. I wasn't looking in the chat room, you know, as I was talking. So if you gave me a donation, I didn't call your name. I apologize. But I appreciate all the donations that I receive. I appreciate all the people who follow this channel. And hopefully, you know, y'all have gleaned something that can help you from this production. I'll be back on tomorrow. It's been great. Peace to all the gods and goddesses. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace. I'm out.
That was High Frequency Radio. Please go like, share, subscribe. He's got some, I believe, some good knowledge, some good tools we can all use in fighting this battle we have against our so-called government. I don't really have anything else planned for today. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, beliefs, disbeliefs, conjectures, they're all welcome. We'd be glad to hear them. We'll wait for a second and see if you have anything to say. If not, we're going to probably go ahead and end this stream. All right, Sunshine. I appreciate your time. Good to see you. Hope you come back soon. I'm not sure that I recognize your name. If you've been here before, I apologize. I am a space cookie at times. So you have a great day and a better tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and end the stream. We'll see you same time, same bat channel. Take care. Bye.